Every in-breath you take is a conception moment, and every out-breath you take, charge it with voice or not, is a creation moment. So you are a mother of your life.
Welcome to the Well Woman Show, where motivated women achieve fulfillment and well-being.
You're listening to the Well Woman Show.
You're listening to the Well Woman Show.
You're going to be in for a good ride.
I'm a woman. I would prefer to tell my own story. My story, though it's very personal, is universal.
You're listening to the Well Woman Show. And now your host, Giovanna Rossi.
Hello, Well Women. Giovanna Rossi here. Welcome. I am so excited to have a conversation today with a spiritual teacher traveling from Canada who's originally from Colombia. Her name is Berdhanya Swami Tierra. And we talk about a lot of things that really align with what we talk about on the Well Woman Show. And if you've heard me say this before, it will sound familiar. But, historically, we have valued women for two things: how they look, how women look, and then also how women nurture or care for others. And really, what we're trying to do with the Well Woman Show and all of our work is unravel those two things and really provide space for women to live into all of the other things that are available to us as humans. And we can do that if we operate from a place of inner power instead of operating from a place of responding to all of these external messages and socializations. So with that said, my conversation today with Berdhanya Swami Tierra opens up an invitation to explore the mystical gifts of the feminine, which are being revealed in our modern times. And it's an empowering and practical conversation. And I hope you enjoy it. It is... We had this conversation when Berdhanya was traveling through for a big gathering of the indigenous people in New Mexico. We talk about exploration of the mystical feminine, alignment with your inner power, and how you are the mother of your own life. And as we approach Mother's Day, this is a celebration for all of mothers. And also it's a pretty difficult day for some people who have lost their mothers or who have wanted to be a mother and not become a mother. And this is a way that we can look at ourselves and at motherhood in a different light. And really what we're talking about is how you are actually the mother of your own life. I'm excited to bring you this conversation. Please join me for a conversation with Berdhanya Swami Tierra. I'm speaking with Berdhanya Swami Tierra. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Berdhanya, I want to start by asking you, what are you working on and how does it impact women's lives and well-being?
My work is about empowering the force or energy of the feminine within the man, within the children, and of course in the majority of the woman body. So when we understand what is the feminine aspect, we can tap into things that have been either denied, abused, getting not avoided. Any of all these feminine forces, really we need to recover them. If we want to survive in the planet, if we want our families to be in balance, we need to understand what is the feminine forces, what they do, how to apply it, and how to transmit it. When we have that sense of grounding that is nourishing, that have so much power of sacrifice, of forgiveness, we are entering into a complete new way of thinking socially. So my work is about teaching that in different formats. And for that, I have a series of courses that anyone can take, first to demagnetize all the busyness and the male-driven force, and to put us in a more relaxed state where we are more perceptive of ourselves and a more perceptive of what is going around us.
Okay, great. And I love that you included men and children, so that we're not just talking about women, but we're talking about the feminine in all. And can you talk about what is the feminine force, and how, and maybe compare that with the masculine or the non-feminine, so that listeners can really get an idea of what exactly are we talking about?
Yeah, one of the things that we confuse and we have lost is the concept of the feminine, because the feminine is part of our subconscious. Like, if we can compare that, the conscious aspect of ourself is the more driven aspect, is the more tangible, is the one that have the title in profession, is the one that know how to cook, how to have skills, while the feminine aspect is like a sponge, is the one that receive all the information of what you think, how you feel, how you should direct yourself, all that soft, subtle information that comes from the subconscious and goes to the subconscious form the reality of what we are. And feminine is also the holder of life. If we see the planet Earth is the eternal giving of life in all forms. It could be in the form of destruction, like when a woman gets very angry, you want to destroy everything, and that's necessary at times when you have to put limits. When it's enough, it's enough. So life with all the attributes of life, which is nourishment, sustainability, all the supplies of medicines, agriculture, memories, inspiration, creativity, expression, all that resides in every single aspect of any human being. Is the spiritual womb, if we can put it that way, that all of us have. The majority, of course, more of those attributes are more present in the female form, but it's in everyone.
And so there's a lot of attention right now on Mother's Day, as we're approaching Mother's Day, as this show airs. This is an important conversation for people to think about the mother in everyone, in men, women, and children.
Yes, and not only that, to see that every in-breath you take is a conception moment, and every out-breath you take, charge it with voice or not, is a creation moment. So you are a mother of your life at all times. When we're conscious of that, we can put the quality and make choices. What is the breath that you put in your voice? What is the intention you put in your creation? So the Mother's Day should be the moment where you review your creation, what you have been given birth to, what is your life, how it looks like, what are your children. Your children are your events, are the relationships you have, the quality of the relationships you have, the kind of work, all that you have been given birth. Male, female, we are creators, and we create through the feminine power. So Mother's Day should be not about the female that have children. It should be about a moment of stopping a bit and say how my creation is about and how I take care, how I mother my creation, how I nourish my creation, how I accept my creation, how I allow my creation to experiment. So you, as a creator, in the moment you conceive yourself as a mother of your creation, you gain the feminine. You start relating to the feminine.
Okay, I love that. And going back to something you were talking about earlier on, I wanted to pick up on this question of the masculine and the feminine, and the masculine being more of the tangible, things that we learn in school, sort of more of the structures. Really, that's sort of everything, all the organized things in our lives, right? And it's almost like that whole aspect of life is really lacking the feminine. So where is the opportunity to bring in the feminine in some of those institutionalized structures and systems?
We need to observe that the creation of our institutions are coming from the within of ourselves, our own imposed institutions we have inside ourselves. All the shoots, all the guilts, all the efforts that we do, we simply project that and manifest that in the exterior, in the society. So we should not work from the outside in. We should work from the inside out. So the best approach is to see what are your inner institutions. What is your inner constitution? What do you obey inside? What are your demands? What are your expectations? If are they too hard? Or they are too out of balance? Then in that moment when you start questioning your male inside, that driving force, then things start changing. You start to see the outside very differently, and you start interacting differently. That way you can change the outside. So it's not about, oh, let's do this outside, let's implant new laws, they have proof that it doesn't work. We are trying our best to work from the outside in, but it doesn't work. It doesn't.
But at the same time, we don't want to give up on trying to change laws and the different activism that's happening. Can it be in your mind, can it be simultaneous, working from the inside and the outside?
The inside is the formation of the outside. And when you are, it's like having a automatic car or a manual car. Try to change outside all the time without having much more power or importance in the inside. You're doing things manually. When you have the power inside, you just need to walk in a place and everybody will understood what is the change that need to be done. Mm-hmm. That is the power of the feminine. That is when we really trust that is no negotiation. That is the feminine who give birth to our reality. And is non-negotiable on that. After the children, when it's born, it needs some education, some guidance. But understand that recovering fully the feminine is really to trust that your within change the without, and that you don't need to change or make efforts. That is just a seduction of the ego to say, oh, but you still need to do this, but you still need to do that. No, you just need to change your frame of thinking.
So in that scenario, if people just start working from within, what happens to all of the people who are still not doing that and making bad laws?
If you're familiar with the different frequencies that people exist in different planes of perception, intelligence, if you choose to think in duality or in a place where you're battling or seeing the exterior as your enemy or as your purpose, it's okay. You will be operating in one frame. But I tell you, it's not going to last. Earth is not allowing that anymore. It's just simply that. You will just struggle more and contribute to something that is not, doesn't evolve.
And so your work in your life is to spread this and share this with as many people as possible so that more people are working with and from the feminine, so that it eventually will have a big change.
My work is to offer an invitation. Again, I don't work to change anything. I'm just announcing that there is a different proposal, and if that appeals to people, then they can come. It's an invitation. I don't particular work for people or changing anything. Otherwise, I'm not applying what I'm saying. I'm just saying I am here, and I think that the laws of effortlessness, relaxation, centeredness, nourishment, forgiveness is a powerful, powerful tool, and that we don't trust. But it is time to trust, because it's linked to earth, it's linked to what we need to go, it's linked to recovering what we have forgotten. So without balance, we cannot progress. You have to be considered both sides. It's not only about male or female. It's about walking together as one single contributions. The feminine force have one attributes, the male have another attributes. If they don't cooperate, if they don't converse, if they don't see it as a team, we don't go anywhere. If I am focusing on women, it's because I feel that the women have the power to give birth to the new world.
I'm speaking with Berdhanya Swami Tierra, and we'll be right back. I'm so thankful for support from Natural Awakenings magazine in New Mexico, a monthly green, healthy lifestyle publication, and for support from High Desert Yoga, promoting optimum physical health, clarity of mind, and spiritual inspiration for all. Whether you're just starting your journey or you've been on it for months or even years, the Well Woman Jumpstart is a great place to begin. So you might want to know, what's the outcome? How will I benefit from this? If you want to reach the income, impact, or intimacy goals you have, you can jump right in with this awesome jumpstart. You'll learn what your unique superpower is, which is super important for everything else you'll be working on in your life. You'll learn proven tools to address your particular challenge. You'll get real clarity about your life and your big goals and challenges. And you'll get to talk to me, Giovanna, one-on-one, and I'll give you feedback and insight specifically on your goal or challenge. If you're ready to jump in, go to wellwomanlife.com/jumpstart. Okay, I'm back with Berdhanya Swami Tierra, and we are talking about the feminine and motherhood and what that means and what she's offering to the world at this point in her life and her work. And Berdhanya, I'd like to start with our Superpowers for Success segment. And the first question is, what does success for you mean?
Success is to know who you are. Success is to anchor yourself in that deep peace, in that deep knowing of who you are. The rest is impermanent. It's just decorations of your expression on earth. But if you don't know who you are, then you're not really succeeding in anything.
Okay, and when did you know this was your path? When did you know you were good at being a spiritual teacher?
I never knew it. I just took the experiences that were coming my way, and they were all directing towards one point. All I knew it from early is that I was knowing to conform to the normal social norms, that my life was meant to have something different and unique. And as I accept my uniqueness and my likes, my impulse, my passion, then things start to form, and I just commit and give 100%.
And was there a moment that you can recall when you decided or when it was clear that this is your path, you're a spiritual teacher?
No, it was just a continuous moment of doing what I liked the most, which was the empowerment and to investigate the self.
Okay, and Berdhanya, can you describe a personal habit that you have that contributes to your own well-being so that you and your physical body can be here doing what you're doing in the world?
Serving is where you have the more powerful energy, because you forget about your little world. You forgot about your pain, about your incompleteness, as the mind likes to see it. But just when you see the suffering and the others that say, I do have something that this person may need, so I just offer it. And I invite people to come to different, to the energy. It's not necessarily a course or a retreat. Yes, it's a more condensed way of experiencing the energy, but just come to the vibration, just come to the frequency and get familiar with that you have. So serving that frequency give me great pleasure, great energy, great peace, great purpose.
And what superpower did you discover you had only to realize it was there all the time?
Contact. When you know how to contact, when you are very present to yourself and to the other, the other you, that is a superpower.
Okay, what do you mean by contact for listeners who might not be familiar with that?
Contact means this total discharge of your presence in one single moment in company of somebody.
And what advice would you give to your younger self, say 25 years old?
All the youngest parts of yourself are in the present moment. So there is no, you have to walk all together. So what you call younger self is just different parts of ourself that are in resistance to accept your own divinity. So what to say to those parts? Nourish those parts, like you are a mother that encourage those children to come to a place where you know is a much more expansive and peaceful place.
Okay, and do you identify as a feminist?
No, it's the opposite. I am a defender of the masculine because, when women come to me and say, I have problems with my husband, I end up defending the masculine because the feminine wants the masculine to be feminine, wants to be different. And the masculine is the masculine. It is quite simple. So it's not about masculine or feminine. It's about the heart of each other. It's about how we contact, how we connect, how we make peace with our differences within ourselves. So, no, I am not a feminist.
Okay, and so what about when we're looking at women who are not paid as much as men? So looking at equal pay, how would you talk about that in terms of, would you support equal pay, or is that something that you're just not focused on?
The woman that is focused, that is paid less, is because she have created that reality for herself. It's some kind of victimism. It's some kind of agreement subconsciously that is less. So it's not about the payment. It's about the dignity of the woman. If you are dignified, you won't accept that. Therefore, the society will create different standards. Understand that all the abuse, all the differences of women women have created because they have agreed to give up the feminine force. If you agree subconsciously that you are not worth it, that you are less, that you are incomplete, that you don't have any dignity, naturally, you will be giving birth to a reality of that caliber.
I know what you're saying, and it's really hard to understand it because it seems like some women don't have or don't feel like they have the choice to not accept that lower pay because they need to work to get food for their children.
But that is when they are relating to that concrete reality and they feel helpless. That is precisely the grab of the ego that say you cannot do it. It's impossible. This is the reality and there is no any more hope. There is no any more change. It's a narrow mind pointed. It's a self-imposed slavery. I know it's hard to hear it, but it's something that we need to really investigate in each woman that comes and say, okay, are you a victim of your own creation? Are you victimized? Because there is consequences. If the lower pay is in your reality, you are lowering your inner dignity. It comes from the within out. So when women have the bravery really to step into this new way of thinking where say, okay, no, I'm going to renounce that sense of entrapment, social entrapment that is collective, but can be different. Then a leadership in each woman comes. And that's what we need, is that leadership, that strength, that power within the woman that say, I can do something different. I can give birth to something different. My life can be given and rebirthed because I have choices.
Yeah. And when she does that and she's challenged by the external circumstances, she has to rise up even stronger.
Absolutely. So the challenge in the outside becomes opportunities. Their experiences, their creation are saying, hey, it's something that is uncomfortable. It's something that it needs to be changed. So the experiences of lower pay, abuse or something is really an opportunity to change things around. It's a call. And those are the people more prepared to change the world, more prepared to change within, because they have the uncomfortableness.
Okay, and last question for you. What are you reading right now? What do you have on your nightstand at night going to bed when you read?
I don't read because I read life. I read the coincidences. I read the synchronicities. And at night, I just simply look in my husband's eyes and say how lucky I am to have created a place of love and peace. So I don't need to be inspired by anything outside. The outside and the small details is the biggest book of creation. That's what I read.
Berdhanya, thank you so much for being on the show today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That's it for our show today. Remember, if you need support to live your Well Woman life, head over to wellwomanlife.com/Facebook to join us. Our monthly live event, Well Woman Drinks, brings women together to share our successes and challenges as women, leaders, moms, aunts, sisters, and all the other roles we carry. If you'd like to attend a Well Woman Drinks near you, or if there isn't one in your city yet and you'd like to start one, email info@wellwomanlife.com. If you enjoyed the show, please take a moment and subscribe in iTunes and leave a review. This helps raise visibility, which is super helpful when it comes to producing the show every week. For feedback, comments, or just to let me know you were listening today, find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram @WellWomanLife. I'm Giovanna Rossi for The Well Woman Show. Until next time, have a super powerful week.